number 10, we have Cabbage Patch Kids Snack Time doll. These little she-devils must have been possessed. Around in the 90s, these children's dolls were supposed to eat things like plastic chips. They had motorized mouths that would chomp away on fake food. Unfortunately, a number of the dolls seemed to come to life and eat their owner's hair. One incident in South Carolina made headlines when the battery-powered doll ate the hair of a 3-year-old girl. Carly Mees, who was left partially bald after the savage attack, cried for weeks. A similar thing happened to a 7-year-old in Indiana. Clearly, the dolls were in it together. Less of a toy, I guess, than like play apparatus with a life of its own, but check out this swing at number 9. A Rhode Island dad uploaded a video of a possessed swing to Facebook in 2016. He said his kids did not want to go to that playground anymore. You can see a blue swing going wild in the footage. Dad, Scotty Denton, wrote that there wasn't any wind and captioned the video, "We're at the playground and the kids don't want to go anymore because look at this." Fair enough, like, that swing's alive. Only explanation. Coming into number 8, this doll came to life on camera. Uh-oh. This seems to be some kind of parent cam where they can watch their kid play when they're not in the room. The scary Black Mirror stuff aside, here we have a footage of a girl playing with her doll in the corner. Now it comes to life by moving its head several times and she doesn't notice. Terrifying. Coming into number 7, we have Mandy. I don't feel good about Mandy. Creepy baby doll Mandy is thought to be alive or possessed somehow. The owner donated her to the Quesnel Museum in Canada, but prior to that, she'd be awoken nightly by the sound of a baby crying. Often when she went to investigate, she found an open window. Keen to be rid of this scary doll, Mary was given to the museum where she reportedly began stealing staff and volunteers' lunches. She's hungry. I get that. Okay, this is pretty ironic. We have a Woody toy at number 6. Famously in Toy Story, Woody and pals would come to life. Well, it turns out like this might actually be legit. The video has over 2.7 million views on YouTube, although a lot of people are saying that the dad in the video is clearly just trying to entertain his kid, which probably is the case, so really it's kind of more of a cute thing than a scary thing. Joke's on us if it's real though. Another video that went huge with views at number 5, we have the teddy bear that came to life and spoke out. Check out this teddy bear laying on a bed the way teddies do. Good teddy bedtime friend, right? Cute, snuggly. But then we see his sleeping buddy. I don't know who records himself sleeping, but still. The teddy bear starts moving and then clambering all on over his friend, like, mate, get off my face. Seriously though, you're smothering me, I don't like you. Get a load of this living doll at number 4. Why so many dolls? This is the worst of them all, I think. As if this vampire child doll wasn't spooky enough, it was legit found in a graveyard with a baby bottle filled with what looks like blood in it. Sure, it may be a huge prank, but look at that doll's eyes. It's seen things, it knows things. The eyes follow the camera wherever it goes, and it's very unsettling. Coming into number 3, we have Sarita. Sarita is a creepy blonde doll who looks like a cute 90s fashionista but is actually alive and wants to scratch you. The Nunes family from El Callao in Peru said that the doll is a menace and has been plaguing them for 7 years. During this time, she's seemed to have a life of her own, moving around at night and doing whatever she wants, basically. Creep. Apparently she often makes strange praying sounds too, like throw her out, throw her out, throw her out, throw her out. This is my chant to anyone with a creepy possessed thing, just get rid of it. Coming into number 2, we have this toy cat that possibly is possessed by the devil. Uploaded to YouTube in 2014, footage of this toy cat freaking out is pretty insane. Watched 10,000 times, we see the cat having a spasm, meowing like a mad thing, twisting its head all crazy, and then at the end, it straight up looks at the camera. Coming into number 1, we have the real life Chucky. Let me give it to you straight, this battery operated doll seems to work without batteries and nobody has any chill about it, which is very understandable. Footage of the doll emerged in 2017 when its owners in Peru uploaded her talking and moving sans battery to YouTube. The doll seems to realize that it has no batteries after a while and says, "Where am I?" It even turns and winks like, "Honey, you terrify me."
Starting us off, number 10, we have Hugo, the man of 1,000 faces. Here is a scary vintage doll that should never have been been made. Okay, no, seriously, who was the diabolical person that invented this toy? Hugo was launched in 1975, and he is a puppet stuffed with cotton and terror. If you pull on the string, he will flap his arms around, but the main feature of this toy is that you have the ability to change his face any way you want. Hugo comes fully stocked with a ton of body parts such as noses, eyes, hair, and creepy accessories. But when Hugo is au naturel, he looks like he came straight out of my worst nightmare.
Okay, so I've just added his like messed up bloodshot eye and this flaring nostril pig nose deformity, and let's see if we can get the chin on there. There.
I swear this toy was marketed towards serial killers who enjoy putting dismembered body parts on Hugo's face. Jack in the Box pops up in this list at number 9. I never really understand why people would actually waste their money on, Jack in the Box. They're actually so terrifying when they just pop out at you, and they have some pretty creepy looking dolls inside. Like when it pops out, you're like, whoa, because it scared you, and whoa, that doll is hideous. Jack in the Box should be renamed to Anxiety in the Box, and we should all throw them away in a huge ditch, cover them up with concrete and dirt so they can never rise again. Mexican jumping beans hops into number 8. When I was younger, Mexican jumping beans were very popular. As kids, we all thought that these beans were magical, but we didn't know any better. As it turns out, the magic was actually from the larva of a moth that would jump when they got overheated because they were trying to move to a cooler environment. So basically, as kids, we were told to heat up these magical beans so that we can see them jump, but really we're torturing this moth larva that was stuck inside of this seed pod. Sounds like a great toy for kids, right?
It's living.
Look at that. We got him.
Skinny Bones takes us into number 7. Okay, whoa, no thanks. What kind of person in their right mind would buy this creepy, like super creepy looking doll? Mr. Skinny Bones was released in 1970, and apparently he is just one member of the Bones family. You can also purchase the Genie Bones, Trom Bones, the Horse and the Ham Bones, the dog, but I don't see why you would. These toys look like decapitated heads that is being held up by a weird contraption, and they look like they can murder you in your sleep. Jolly Chip bangs his cymbals, bang, 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 in at number 6. The only thing jolly about this toy is the feeling when you finally have the courage to throw this thing out in the trash. What's up with his eyes? Why do they look like they belong to a pissed off demon?
Wait. Oh! Look at that.
This toy has been featured in several horror movies because it looks so evil. I think the person who designed this toy is no longer working for a toy company. I literally don't see the appeal to Jolly Chimp. First, he looks like he is possessed by a demon. Secondly, he is so loud, obnoxious. And third, he has creepy chattering teeth. I'd rather buy Hugo than have this thing back in my closet waiting for his moment to kill me. Face Bank brings us to number 5. Piggy banks are a good way to entice kids to save their money. There are literally hundreds of piggy banks out there in the world, but for some reason, a toy company came up with this concept. Okay, no. There is no way in hell that I'm trusting this creepy thing with my money. If anything, this toy will teach kids to be frugal, because what kind of kid will be brave enough to get their quarters out of this scary looking device? But wait, it actually gets a lot worse. Shave the Baby takes us to number 4. I think the name in itself is just creepy. This is definitely one of the most disturbing toys that I've ever seen. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, there's just so many questions that I have for this. Why is the baby so hairy, and why do we need to shave it? Why does he have so much hair on his calves? And most importantly, why does this toy even exist? I think that is the most important question. I hope he is no longer in circulation. He's just gonna not be made and he's just filtered out. And I hope that kids who are forced to play with this doll aren't too traumatized from their childhood. Creepy Baby Crawler makes an appearance in at number 3. Because if the last one wasn't creepy enough, well, this one, yeah. Is this real life right now? Why is this thing so hideous? I'm sorry. Even if you disinfect this toy and manage to rub off all of the dirt and stains, it would still be terrifying. I also don't think that babies would like this toy. It's hard, it's ugly, and not even colorful. It doesn't look like it would bring much joy. I don't know though, I could be wrong. And I wonder what sounds it makes when you hit those buttons. Luckily for us, we never have to find out. Antique French swimming dolls swims its way into number 2. Good luck sleeping tonight. If you thought that was bad, take a look at this toy when it is positioned on her back. She literally looks like the spawn of the Exorcist girl. How can anyone think that a child would love this toy? I think that it should be considered abuse if you're caught giving your child this creepy looking thing. Number 1, we're talking about Furbies.
What's that? It's my Furby. Furby loves your lavender. Tickle me.
Furby, the first Gigapet you pet.
Go ahead.
These toys were released back in 1998. It was a huge part of my childhood, but I don't think we fully understand how creepy they actually were. Or are, because aren't they still selling these damn things? Should have got rid of it back in the 90s. Once you open the box, your Furby will only speak in a secret language called the Furbish, but it has the ability to interact with other Furbies and learn your language and behaviors. Furbies were actually banned by the National Security Agency because they were scared that they would listen in on classified conversations. The toy was rebooted in 2012, so I guess that just goes to show you that we haven't learned our lesson.
What the Oh my! What?
Number 10. Sky dancers. Little plastic princesses with wings that you could throw into the air and they would come down, twirling down to the ground nicely. If by nicely you mean a cold slap in the face, Sky dancers were a Happy Meal toy that sent girls bananas in the 90s. The way the toy was supposed to work is you throw it up in the air and it spins down to the ground in a graceful fashion. But the plastic they used to make it was too hard, and the flight path was unpredictable, so it would end up backhanding you in the cheek with the velocity of a helicopter. It turned from a cute doll that was supposed to simulate a dancing princess to a weapon that siblings would use to throw over your sibling's head and catch them off guard unexpectedly with a sneak attack. Number 9. Farm animal glove. Choking hazard. The concept of the glove isn't that scary. It was a glove that kids could wear while they ate chicken nuggets, this way their hands didn't get greasy. Each finger of the glove had a different barnyard animal on it. That part is kind of creepy. You literally have a chicken watching you eat chicken nuggets that used to be his relatives. You'd be like, for the love of God, please kill me, no chicken deserves this. But it got much worse than that. Parents started complaining because the little felt fingers that had the barnyard animals on them would rip off as kids were eating, and some kids were choking on the Farmville mascots. I guess that's how the little chicken finger got his revenge. Number 8. Mini Furbies. If you were alive in the 90s, you remember Furby fever that washed over everyone. They were little half bird, half reptile, fuzzy wuzzy cootsy wootsy toys. They were cute in the way that like clowns are cute. McDonald tried to cash in on those bad boys by making mini versions. The main selling feature for Furbies was that you could teach them to say things, like anything. You could teach them to say I love you or hail Satan. The McDonald's versions didn't have the feature where you could teach them words, but they would talk at random. So you could be walking through your kitchen late at night and then out of nowhere you hear, "Be my friend," creep out of the darkness. Number 7. Swearing minions. We follow up number 8 with another sweeping trend, the minions. In 2015, McDonald's teamed up with the Little Yellow movie stars to give people what they wanted. I always hated that as a kid. My parents would take me to McDonald's and get me that Happy Meal, and I would get like the Happy Meal version of a toy instead of going to the toy store. Looking back on it, I was just a spoiled brat and I should have just been more grateful. Now, the minions speak a language called Minionese, and these toys had a function where if you pressed on them, they would talk. They were supposed to speak Minionese, which is just gibberish, but parents started complaining that they would swear. I would not be surprised if someone programmed swear words into these things as a prank. This is just like the IKEA catalog thing all over again. If you don't remember this, back in the day, there was a graphic designer who worked for IKEA. He got laid off, and on his last day, he photoshopped a dick onto a dog that was on the cover of the IKEA catalog. Oh, it was genius. Number 6. American Idol toys. What says I'm a kid who loves to have fun like playing with some American Idol themed toys? including famous American Idol characters like clapper hands and a microphone. Best of all, it had a fake MP3 player which only had one song on it. Was it a hit from a famous American Idol winner? No! It would just play the American Idol theme song over and over again. Some sort of twisted torture to remind kids that if you watch too much American Idol, you might never stop. This toy isn't super scary, it just sucks. What a pile of trash. What kid in their right mind gets excited about game show themed toys? Save that for the retirement home. Number 5. Jellyfish Willy. Usually when you're making a toy for kids, the last thing you want is it to be shaped like a penis. Well, when the movie Finding Nemo came out, someone at the McDonald's toy factory tried to make a jellyfish and ended up making something that looks like someone's dong. There is so much wrong with this one. Not only does it have a strong phallic presence, but they put a face on it, and the face looks like a guy who just hit too many bongs. This jelly wiener looks like he ate the wrong plate of cookies and now he's getting hit with a wave of THC that could bring down an elephant. I feel like this dude needs to be on a t-shirt or an episode of Rick and Morty or something like that. Needless to say, when kids would pull this toy out of their paper McDonald's bag, their parents would quickly snatch it away. There were endless complaints about this clear oversight, and it wasn't long before the toy was quickly removed from each location. Next time you want to make dick-shaped toys, save them for grown-ups. Number 4. Plastic bag puppet. What do kids love? Clowns? No. Puppets? After the Revenge of Pinocchio? No. Plastic bags? Well, I don't know if they love them, but I know you're not supposed to leave little kids alone with a bunch of plastic bags. So why not put them all together? A few things that kids don't like all in one, and it could potentially kill them. One of the first McDonald's Happy Meal toys ever was a plastic bag with Ronald McDonald's face on it, and it was supposed to act like a puppet. It just ended up being a horrifying choking hazard for kids. Back then, people didn't know that one of the #1 things kids try to do is find new and interesting ways to kill themselves. It also doesn't seem like McDonald's was big on the environment back then. They'd give you all your food in a paper bag, but they thought, how can we find a way to put a plastic bag in the paper bag? On top of this all, it's just cheap and lazy. It seems like the only one you could get was a puppet of Ronald McDonald. You couldn't even get like a set of puppets and put on a McDonald's themed puppet musical where Hamburglar is just a misunderstood misfit trying to find his place in the world. No one steal that, I'm taking that to Broadway. Number 3. Swastika tattoos. So one line of McDonald's toys in Sweden was temporary tattoos. The design of the tattoos were made by a Chinese company that I guess never read a history book because they came out with a pattern that looks very close to a swastika. Even worse, employees at the McDonald's weren't checking them before they were putting them in the bags. And many parents didn't realize that the tattoos were shaped like Nazi logos until they were firmly glued to their kids' skin. How does this slip past so many levels of people? First you have the company making the product, and then you have McDonald's giving the okay on the product, then employees putting it in the bag, then parents didn't check, and finally a kid who should stop watching cartoons and turn on the History Channel. Jeez. It wasn't long before the temporary tattoos were discontinued and McDonald's gave out a giant statement about how they were sorry and they did not affiliate with Nazis. Number 2. Madame Alexander dolls. Have you ever seen a Madame Alexander doll? Well, they look very lifelike. And not in a good way. Think of a creepy wannabe marionette that has those eyes that seem like they're always watching you. Well, McDonald's teamed up with the queen of creepy dolls to come out with an entire line of distressing looking dolls. Most of which were just a regular level of creepy, but one reached a new level of unsettling. The Wizard of Oz flying monkey doll. It looks like they took an orphan boy and spliced him together with whatever DNA is left after a zoo burns down. He's got fur coming out of everywhere, blue skin like the Will Smith genie, and creepy monkey hands and feet. His only redeeming qualities are that super fly vest, and for whatever reason his eyebrows are perfectly on point. Can we just make a rule to stop making dolls? Nobody likes them. We've moved on in society. We don't need little creepy humanettes sitting around reminding us that the devil is real. And our number 1 is heating up. Back in 2016, McDonald's wanted to change their unhealthy image by giving kids a little fitness tracker watch as their Happy Meal toy. This sucks for so many reasons. 1. A fitness tracker is not a toy, and any kid who gets one would be cheesed with the impression that it is a toy. 2. If you want to change your unhealthy image, McDonald's, why not start with making your food healthier? And 3. The fitness trackers were so poorly designed, they started burning the skin of every kid who wore them. One mother went on record saying that it left a burn on her kid's skin after only 8 minutes. I bet this was all a McDonald's plot to give a younger generation a Pavlovian response between healthy living and pain. It's so funny to me that the one time McDonald's tries to promote healthy living, they end up giving third-degree burns to kids.